Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Professional Hippies, where we fill your mind with thoughts and you hear our words.
Probably goes out the other direction.
Hey, hopefully you feel our prayers. Last week was an amazing week. Thank you guys all for that super positive response. If you haven't checked out that episode, Manifestation, Pleasure Portal, get on your portal. Get on your pleasure.
Get on the pleasure. Get on the portal. Portal that pleasure.
Hey, today we want to talk about some rocket stuff. You like rocket stuff?
Love rocket stuff.
Got some cool rocket stuff coming your way in 3, 2,
Rocket Man.
1. All right, boys, let's remember our training. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We are some hippies, these are my friends. Come along with me, see how the story ends. We are some hippies, these are my friends. Come along with me, see how the story ends.
I don't know now. I mean, at least
Out of control
30.
is what it is. Oh, dude, it's 50 plus.
50 plus for sure.
It's like the type of women I used to look for.
We should. So why you're always at those nursing homes? It wasn't to sing the.
Have you ever been to the Villages?
No.
Do you know what the Villages is?
No.
Are you serious?
No.
It's the largest senior living center in America.
Oh.
It is right outside of Orlando.
Oh.
And so it's 55 plus. It's like, I don't know, maybe 100,000 people live there.
So it's
8,000?
basically like the world's largest
6,000?
orgy.
Oh, for sure.
That's got to be out there.
It's got like the second highest STD rate in the nation as well.
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Don't quote me on the second fact, but for sure, the Villages is wild. You ever seen the movie The Truman Show?
Yeah.
It's like that.
And they do that on purpose. They're like, oh, we want you to just stay here.
Yeah.
There's no reason to
I mean,
leave
it's
here.
like
Your grandkids will come here. Don't worry
they
about
have
it.
like a fluent, not even affluent, it's just like people that actually did the retirement plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they know it's like guaranteed income. So the builders that like maintain and build there, it's a big deal when you get trusted. It's guaranteed business.
Mm-hmm.
So his family, however long ago, they built out this master plan. They had all this land. So they have like this master plan of building out the villages. And so it's just like a humming machine of them just one block after the next developing.
So it's still being
developed.
That there's that much land that they're still building on. Oh wow.
It's a city. It's the
villages.
villages.
Is it because it's out in the middle of Florida? Because a lot of people don't realize, like they think of Florida, they're like Miami, Orlando, Tampa. And they don't realize how much space of just flat land is in the middle. So then you're saying that probably they had a ton of like cattle land and now they're just developing on top of that.
And it's family owned. So it's like,
wow.
I mean, they're crushing.
Oh man.
Crushing, dude. And I used to go up there. I did a couple of Cutco appointments, and old people are always great for like buying like a couple things. Hated it, but yeah, because it's just like you can't influence them. I mean, I get it. Like now that I'm getting older, I'm like, I know what I
would think older people would be a lot easier to sell on the Cutco stuff. Like, oh, I got to get good knives.
No, guaranteed every time a small order.
Wow, the easiness to cut through things. I would have just thought that would have.
Think about it. You're 72.
Yeah.
And you don't give a fuck anymore. Your kids are grown.
You're like, well,
do you think you really give a fuck about using the difference between a boning knife and a fillet knife?
Well, the question of that is, how big is your husband's life insurance policy? We're gonna have to figure out which one will do the best here.
Yeah. So
sounds like the boning one.
The boning. No, I remember what it was. So I did an appointment for the nudist colony up here in Tampa. Tampa does have the highest nudist colony per capita in the nation. So like they have a lot of like clothing optional places around Tampa. Mm-hmm. And I got called up there to do an appointment. And I was at the gate, and the lady was like so friendly, And then I remember going through the gate, and there was like a healthy amount of security. Like they really are about their business, And then as soon as I got through the gate, I saw these two old people biking on their little beach cruisers, stark ass naked. And I had a fucking breakdown. I laughed so fucking hard. I mean, it was just like, what am I? It's this saggy ass, and this man's penis is hanging off his bike, and I'm like, what is going on?
Why? I feel like that would just be uncomfortable.
Well, riding naked?
Yeah.
I don't know. The freedom kind of makes up for it, doesn't it?
The freedom, but like now I'm like sitting. If I have
chaps
to
your ass, sweaty
or
ass,
something, and then I get it just rolls, and now I'm like, ah.
Well, it's like the people that tell me they free ball. I can't get with it.
I understand the free balling, but like on a bike though, it just seems...
the chafing always rubbing against jeans, especially jeans.
Yeah, definitely jeans. I've definitely felt that like out hiking and backpacking, especially you've been going all day sweating and you don't have a good pair.
Like that dude we saw speed running the Appalachian Trail in a bikini.
Now that man was his own world. That was a regular. He does that. He you know how like you get calluses from working out? He probably has calluses from chapping that much in that area.
Like on his testicles?
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, that's hardcore.
That is for sure. I mean, he was moving with a camera.
Yeah.
He was like, I want the world to know.
Oh, yeah.
This.
Oh, yeah.
We should have that guy on.
Yeah. Maybe not. I
don't know. It seemed like he had his...
He got some stories?
I mean, we always want people to know what they're doing and they got their life set and they have their goals set. That guy has all of those.
Fastest man to run the Appalachian Trail. Clothing optional.
What is that? The Borat? Yeah, it was the Borat costume. That's what I call it. The Borat swimsuit.
Was he wearing that?
That's exactly what he was wearing.
It was pink, wasn't it?
It was pink, though. Yeah. It was the Borat, the green thing that he wears. That's, I guess, a swimsuit or something, but in pink with a GoPro on him.
Oh, yeah. So to polish the little Cutco story, right? So the husband answers the door with a shirt on, and that's it.
There you go.
I was like, what the fuck is that thing between your legs? I mean, it was a baseball bat. This dude was hung like a fucking horse. And I was like, howdy, partner. What do I shake? Do I shake your hand or that thing? You know?
I wonder what the demographics of penis size is in the nudist colony.
Great question. I was also wondering the same. You got to think people that are confident.
They have to be. And you're going in there, you're like, obviously, I'll be sizing up to everybody else.
Everybody. I don't see anybody with a small dick that's going to want to move there. Maybe. Could be wrong. Right? But in America, you know, it's like we got this whole thing around dick size. Not really the same overseas. I went to a couple like clothing optional places over there. Everyone doesn't give a fuck. So, I don't know.
I would definitely think, though, here, it would have to be like...
But the wife was dressed.
You're like, look, if we're going to do this...
Come on.
We're all in this.
She was laughing her ass off. She was like, you had no idea what you were getting into, though. I was like, absolutely not.
Well, I did, and you're not doing it.
Yeah. The husband was like, hey, I'm going to go ride the golf cart. And I'm like, can we just get... I was like, since a little kid, I would fantasize, like, do I get to bone your wife now? Like, I don't... This is not how the script's supposed to go. And then I get referred to a porn star, clothing on. So disappointing, dude. So disappointing. You know?
You're like, look, man, this is not how I thought it would be going. I thought we would...
Plot twist. Apparently, a lot of like A-listers have properties in there because of the security level.
So they just go and be whatever they want to be in there.
It's a clothing optional community, so it's not a like... I wonder if there is a difference between nudist colony and clothing optional, because like they were telling me about the stuff. So if you go, because they really wanted me to bring the girl I was dating at the time to like come back and visit. I had a great time with them. They were a blast. I mean, you got to think about it. Like someone that's cool in their skin like that, like they're obviously going to be cool, maybe a little off, but who isn't? And so they were telling me like, yeah, if you're a guest, you get in free. But then they have like a pricing chart. So they had like a nightclub on the property, like an indoor like activity center. It was a sprawling unit where I was like very impressed, like super tall.
That's cool.
Gates and shit. Like, yeah, I was very impressed. But like if you're a single dude and you want to go for a day, I think it's like $129 just to get in.
Just to get in.
Yeah. But if you're on someone's guest list, but I'm like, who?
Not all inclusive.
I don't know. I mean, it's like the idea of an orgy. I think from what I've heard, I've never been a part of one, but from what I've heard from a lot of my friends that have done them, there's very much a difference. Like an orgy in the traditional sense typically has a bunch of like overweight, out of shape dudes that are kind of creepy. You know, it's like a mixed bag of nuts, but then you like if it's open invitation, you got weirdos showing up.
Yeah.
So it makes sense why they're going to put a high dollar amount on like someone doesn't know, you just want to be a part of the community, whatever. You're probably a weirdo, so try this.
Yeah, if we want the weirder's got to pay, basically. You got to pay to get into this.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I mean, that's how that works.
I was scrolling through Netflix the other day, and we now have a reality TV show here in Tampa of the lesbian scene.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What's that about?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Oh.
But I just wanted to put it out there to the world that we now have a reality TV show of the lesbian scene in Tampa. I'm interested to see what people's thoughts are on it.
Well, we also have that Bayshore or Sunset Sells Boulevard show coming to Tampa.
I don't know.
You don't know about that? The real estate show? They sell like the California Boulevard, whatever the fuck. I don't know. It's a big deal. It's the A-list real estate people.
Too busy trying to buy real estate.
Amen. Amen, brother. Yeah, close today. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
man. That hemorrhoid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that passed.
That's another headache.
Yeah, well, it'll officially, all the paperwork. So I did a mobile notary. And so the chick came out, super cool. That they were like, yeah, you can do it and overnight us all the paperwork and stuff. And I just looked at all the potential things I could fuck up with it. And I was like, for $170, someone will come here, walk me through the process, print everything out, and make sure that they're responsible. This goes right. Yeah, I'll do that.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, we'll meet and you can walk me through what needs to be done. I'm not doing that on my own. Yeah, they're like, well, you could just do it through DocuSign. Like, no, I use DocuSign. I know how many times that fucks up.
Yeah.
Have we made the announcement you're moving there yet? We're doing the whole.
Yeah, I think on a previous podcast, like 2 podcasts ago. Yeah.
We're going the whole virtual route now. That should be interesting.
Oh, as far as for the podcast, no, we haven't really announced that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be figuring that out. I mean, I think a majority of our listeners listen to us, but 2 exciting things is going to be the virtual. So we're going to be producing some cool content around that. And then we're
another one of these bad boys.
Also going to be uploading this to Spotify. So coming soon, you will be able to watch the podcast inside of Spotify. Yeah. So really excited
like how the big dogs have it. That's how we'll be doing it.
We are the big dogs. I mean,
the big dogs.
Once you get a podcast that's going for a year, I mean, that's like, hey.
Once you do survive a year, you're the real deal.
You're the real deal. So we are the real deal. And speaking of vices, that's why we got these going on today. So
oh yeah,
right.
Cheers,
buddy. If you can't see us, you should see us. Got some Mike and Ike's laid out, some pamplemousse.
Well, are they laid out or are they gone?
I got one.
There you go. Okay, I can hear.
Yeah, I got a little chew, and I started to chew, and I was like, no one really wants to hear someone chew on the air. Right?
Yeah, I mean, there's some ASMR people out there probably like that. Like the have you ever seen that with the Asian ASMR where they're like eating squid and stuff? Like, I don't know what the name of it is called, but it's got a name to it. And they're eating like squid in their food, like huge things of food.
That's gross.
It is the grossest thing.
Gross to me. I'm not going to yuck somebody's yum.
I'm into ASMR.
Are you?
But that stuff is gross.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, you got some weird stuff in your dog.
Who doesn't?
So anyway, the rocket stuff I wanted to talk about. Another podcast that I follow, Selling Knives, Changing Lives by Dan Cassetta. Rocket Man.
Going to see Elton John in April. I'm excited.
Are you really? He's still alive?
Yeah. That's where I'm going. Before he's not.
I can't believe that man's still alive, dude. Yeah, so he has a lead. He has the lead rocket scientist for NASA coming on his show. Ooh. And have you seen lately what's been going down with the International Space Station?
Was that I heard something about Russia blew up something, and then now the International Space Station is in danger, and America is going, what the fuck?
That is, in a nutshell, exactly what happened.
That's what I've seen.
Yeah. I mean,
and Russia's going, sorry about that. Good luck, though.
I don't understand.
We have Russian people in the International Space Station.
That's what I don't get. Yeah. So, like, we've been flying on the Russian rockets for the last 10 years.
Someone in that Russian guy in that International Space Station has some information. And they're trying to get rid of it.
About the Earth being flat?
That's probably what it is.
Hey, how do you feel about vices?
Depends, I guess.
Yeah?
What vice?
Do you feel like you have any vices?
No, I think I've tampered those down pretty well over the past 5 years.
The only one that I feel that enters and exits my life on a routine basis is nicotine.
100% you do.
Yeah.
Any of you guys, when we're on a trip, do.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't either.
I was like, on that backpacking trip we went on, I think y'all chain smoked through 3 each.
No,
2 each. It was definitely
for sure
2 each.
For sure,
and I had bought one. Like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna jump on this bandwagon. Let's just see what it is.
How long that lasts?
I was doing good. Mine lasted all the way to the end, and
I
y'all all ran out.
Uh-huh.
And then I just was like, here, and like Joe just snatched it up. I was like, give it to me. And then y'all killed that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's so funny. By the end of the trip, y'all are like, I don't want it anymore.
That's just how it rolls.
You're like, I have this massive headache. I don't know what it's from. Oh yeah, I wonder where it's from.
Yeah, we can't blame that on nicotine though. Let's be honest.
It's a good portion of it.
You know,
if you had a chart, like 40%.
Oh, for sure, a solid 40%. But I think the trans woman at the gas station. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to navigate that space. I don't even know what to.
That's so your headache.
That was
somebody else's headache.
Well, I mean, I guess I have to give more context to that.
I don't know, dude. You have to. That might be a little bit more down.
Well, I don't want to make it sound like I took a trans hooker home or something, but you know, it's like
I don't even know if that's what he was.
I don't. That dude. That was just like a funny situation to be in, where you're like, what in the hell is going on?
That was basically of like, why am I here?
Right.
Reassess things.
Yep.
And hope that doesn't happen again.
Yeah. Evaluate some life choices and go like, hey man, we just probably need to keep people in their lanes and not try and make friends, you know?
I think that's a story for another time. That's a down the road one.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. No, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know. It's interesting that nicotine is so goddamn addictive. Like, to quote Sam Harris, his only fear for his children is to get a hold of nicotine.
I don't. It's interesting how many people they do get addicted to it. I don't really get addicted to it. I like it every now and then. It's just like, oh, this is nice. Like I definitely see why people like it. I don't see how people get addicted to it though. It gives me like a quick, like a cigar, right?
Yeah.
I like a good cigar, but man, if I go down on that cigar and get like halfway, I'll start feeling like not pleasant.
Right. And so when I approach that point, it's when I back off and then I'm like, take a break. I don't know. It's like interesting how to cycle in and out of it. And I think that is the beginning stages of a vice, but like I don't ever.
I would like to know what the more pure version of a cigarette is. Like, so
you're holding it.
Is this though? Like, is this like the purest you can get for a cigarette? Like without the chemicals, it's just a tobacco leaf.
Oh yeah, I mean that's Indian spirits.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's their whole shtick. I mean, they might have a couple binding agents in it or something, but like the whole idea behind Indian spirits is that it's like just raw tobacco. Man,
I was in like my last year of college, and I was having probably one of the worst weeks I've ever had in my life of just like too much crazy shit going on.
Shout out.
So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy. I didn't even smoke cigarettes, but I was like, I'm gonna buy a pack of cigarettes because this is what people do.
Oh yeah,
a bad week.
What do I do? I've arrived to this point.
I was like, cigarettes. Let's just buy a pack. And I bought a pack of cigarettes, and I don't even think I got halfway through that pack. I was just like, all right, I'm good at what's here. I bought the Indians. Yeah. That's what I bought, and sure enough,
you fucked up.
Sure enough, for the next like. Whatever, for like the next 6 months, I didn't realize they tracked that on your card. I kept getting like promotions in the mail from cigarette companies. Like, come
track it on your card.
I guess so, because
that makes sense why that shit would show up every now and then.
They were like, it kept showing. They were like, buy one, you get this other one 10%. I was like, how the hell? And the only thing I could think of is it just tracked it to that card, that spending.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was surprised by that.
That makes sense because, when I went through my dip phase.
And everyone in my roommates smoked cigarettes, so I was just giving them. They're like, how are you getting these? I'm like, I don't know, man. Just take it.
Yeah. No, I never got into cigarettes. I mean, dip is a thing I have had to distance myself all the way from. I absolutely because the carcinogens, how gnarly it is for you. And I
was into dip for a little bit, but then I worked at a Boy Scout camp, and we're all dipping there. And we, for whatever reason, we tried to do a competition of who could ever put the fattest lip in.
Oh,
and you know me, I'm like, I'm going to win everything I get myself into. Mm-hmm. So I did like either a half a can or a little over half, and I stuck it all in, and I let it sit there, and I felt the bad effects coming, and I was like, oh no, I can sit with this longer. And it got to the point where I was like on the ground. They had to put a blanket in me, and I'm in a massive cold sweat. And just, you know, when you drink too much of something and then you can't ever do it anymore. That's exactly what happened to me with dipping. I can't do it anymore.
Understandable. An old buddy of mine in middle school, high school, had his first dip experience in class, and I watched this kid flush beet red and proceed to just throw up. Oh, man, that was violent for him. I felt so bad.
Was it at school?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, what else are you going to do with all that time, right? Oh, I felt so bad for that kid. But for me, it was like the psychological component, because my brother and I used to dip, you know, on like road trips or whatever. Not even like road trips, but like they were in the car for 45 minutes together, an hour kind of thing. And it's like a bonding experience. And I think that's most people, from what I've heard, like there's something, a oral fixation or a mental fixation that is birthed from. And then that is like the root, and other things pile on top of it. Right. So like a lot of people get addicted to the oral fixation of like literally just having something in their mouth. So chewing gum replaces that oral fixation. For me, it was like a physiological component where once I understood that, I was at like some personal growth seminar or something. I was like, oh shit. Yeah. Like that's what it is. Like that reconnection thing. Cause I would get to the point where I was like buying a can of dip. I'd put one in, feel gross, and throw the whole can out the window.
But that habit was formed to go and get the can, buy the can, unseal the can, put it in your mouth, and be like, why am I doing this?
100%, dude. I've probably spent no less than $100, maybe $200 on cans of dip that I've just put one in, and thrown it right out. You know, so I don't know. I mean, but it's like, speaking of vices, like what I did to distance myself from that is like, so I have a rule in place that I can dip anytime I want. I just can't buy it. You know, because I don't, it's one of those things that like, if
it comes around, that's kind of how I do it with cigarettes. Like I don't ever buy cigarettes, but if I'm out at a party and someone's like, you want a cigarette? Like, yeah, sure, man. I'll take a cigarette.
Cigarettes are just so harsh.
They are. So that's why I'm only doing it when I'm like already fucking up my body with other stuff. Like,
yeah, right.
What's adding on?
Yeah, I want to just feel like Paris Hilton feels, you know? I'll tell you what will fuck you up, though. You want to get addicted to cigarettes? So when I was in Brazil, and we were on a whole bunch of ecstasy at this party, I got a hold of these, you know, that here we have the one Crushy Crush, I call them the menthol balls.
A cigarette on ecstasy is awesome.
Well, you haven't had one with two Crushy Crush balls.
I've had the one Crushy Crush.
Yeah, so it's illegal in America to have them with two. They're so goddamn addictive.
Yeah.
It was like breathing candy.
No, I remember having. I think we had them a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we did at some point, and then they realized
2011 because I remember
it was like berry grape.
I remember people freaking out that we were getting rid of it, and then they went and bought them all out.
So good, god damn, so good. I mean, I'm talking like, fuck, holy shit, that's good.
Well, that's why you're rolling. That adds up.
Berry grape menthol.
Hell yeah!
I was like, oh, now we're cooking,
sucking down heaven.
Oh my god, it was so good. Fuck me, man.
Blowing out raspberry winter.
Just blow down your cancer with us, son. Spend your hard-earned money right here.
Dear nicotine baby Jesus.
Yeah, man. I mean, in that same vein, there was also a report that I saw on Reddit the other day that they put Google's AI or something to work, and it created some like 12 million new synthetic compounds that basically 12 million new drugs.
Like on its own?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, but the breakdown of that was like how many of them are like, you know, a reality, right? Like how many of those would actually be drugs that would be enjoyable. But it's just taking like different parts.
Welcome to our new podcast of testing AI drugs.
Well, did you ever go
one down, 11,999,999 to go.
Right. We'll be Mr. Beast of drugs.
That one does nothing. Fuck that one.
We just give him a 15-minute window. Just see what happens.
And out the window. And we're going to take a break. That one did something.
Right, that one, yeah. We never did a podcast tripping, did we?
Oh, yeah. Maybe we go to this more virtual route. It might help out.
Yeah, I would have said the line's getting disconnected. I'm going through a tunnel.
I'll be right back. Where you going? I'm back.
Oh man. Yeah. So like, I don't know. It's just kind of. Did you ever go through that phase where did you ever try any research chemicals?
I don't think any research. I mean, the research started in college with like ecstasy and stuff. That was my like.
The research started with ecstasy
in college, and it was like
every good story starts that way.
And then I was like, oh, this is like a whole world I haven't explored yet. And then that kind of started a whole bunch of other things. Now I've definitely taken things where I was like, that's not what I thought it was.
Amen, brother.
I was like, all right, let's not do that again.
Hey, I was going to reach out to WIM Labs and see if they want to sponsor some of our stuff.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
We get WIM Labs or Dance Safe on, like any of those.
Yeah. I was asking because a friend, I mean, I don't want to throw his name out there, but when we used to order drugs off the Silk Road,
the good old days,
we could get whatever we wanted. And it was like research T, research Y. And we were like, what the fuck? And it came with a menu. And so you could pick whatever you wanted. And the guy had like 5,000, like 5-star reviews or whatever. So much to the so I actually know someone that was delivered a wrong package of like 200 ecstasy pills and wrote back on tour and was like, hey man, I didn't get the right stuff. And he was like, please keep it. Do not give me a bad review. I'll send you your stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's how much the review rating system like mattered.
Well, I can see that because if I'm taking something, that was your drug testing, basically. For a lot of people, was how good are the reviews on something.
Absolutely. It was the best thing that happened, man. And it's like, it blows me away that like, I mean, it's just unfortunate that I guess like when you're operating in the dark underbelly of that world.
There's probably just another one out, another Silk Road out there for sure.
There is. I mean, there's definitely the dark net. I mean, you can order whatever you want off of it, but the Silk Road was just a fucking machine, dude. It was like the Amazon of drugs. Like you could trust it. It was like not clunky to get into.
Only one person went down for that.
I'm sure there was a lot more that went down.
It was one person.
No, publicly, there was one person. We're talking about the USA government.
Because they would have gotten all that information. Like everyone that was selling like that, the routing to that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, here's the deal. Like, thanks to good old fucking Obama, like, big fuck the Bush administration carried on by Obama with the Freedom Act. I mean, they know everything that you're doing if they really want to know.
Unfortunately.
There's nothing that you can hide.
They were like, we're sorry, but we're not going to stop.
Right.
Cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
You realize how good it is. Because now you're scared. You're scared, aren't you?
You know?
You're not going to do anything, are you?
Like,
we have you.
What are we supposed to do? There's nothing you can do.
And they squint their eyes and are like, we'll have your thoughts one day.
I was watching this video the other day of the guy talking about like, how I feel about the vaccination list is like, that's just too far. Like the vaccine passport is just too fucking far.
Too much.
Like you're getting upset. Like, okay, cool. But what about the overreach? And this guy made a very valid point about China and their social credit system. And he was like, I hear everybody with the vaccine passport, like conspiracies. He goes, but this is not a conspiracy. There's been a social credit system in place in China for 4 years using AI, facial recognition technology, credit tracking, movement tracking, that like if you jaywalk, there's facial recognition systems that will track that, send you a bill. No, by the way, not even bill you. They will automatically debit the fine from your WeChat account, and you will be docked in the social credit system.
Everyone at EDC is screwed.
You right?
Man.
Can you imagine? It's like, imagine your life's that way.
I would move. I mean, if America was like, we're doing this, I'm like, well, pack it up. We're moving to a different country at this point because that's not what I'm living here for.
I mean, the whole thing that's going down right now with the tennis player from China. Did you hear about that?
No.
So she came out and talked about her sexual abuse from a high up politician in China, like a big time billionaire guy or whatever, maybe.
Yeah.
and put it on the Chinese social media, and it went viral, quickly taken down. And so she was very outspoken about it, and then she goes missing. And the International Tennis Association or whatever said, like, hey, we're not going to host tennis in the Olympics unless, like, however that works, the World Championships, whatever it is, unless we hear that she's okay. And so they're like, okay, yeah, she's okay. And they're like, no, like, we need to, like, investigate her safety, because they couldn't find her for 2 weeks. They're like, we don't know where she went, you know? And then all of a sudden she pops up out of nowhere. But, like, they sent her to the re-education camp.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like...
That's what happened to the Alibaba. That guy.
Yeah.
He was talking shit against the government.
Yeah.
About them trying to get control.
Yeah.
And then he came back and he was like, I love the government.
Yeah.
They can have full control of everything we're doing.
Yeah.
Because he disappeared for a little while.
So they sent him to the re-education camps.
Re-education camps?
Yeah. Communist Party is right. You were wrong.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to think about, like, that being a reality.
Yeah.
I mean, that is very much the way that the world is heading. And it's because, like, you know, it's like on paper, communism looks great. I've said this for years. Just in execution.
Well, that's all the people that try to preach the communism. They've never been through an execution of it.
Right.
They've never seen what actually plays out. They just see it on paper and then they go, oh, well, it didn't work there, but that's because of this, this, and this. And they can't come up with these excuses. And they're like, but we can make it work here.
Yeah, just like socialism.
Yeah.
They're like, no, they didn't do it. They didn't do it right.
They didn't do it right.
No, and I mean, I don't know. That's the weird part is, like, in business law, we used to talk about the difference between spirit of the law and letter of the law. And that, like, for as much as it hurts, it actually helps more to have the spirit of the law. But then what it also opens up for is room for the good old boy system, right? Where if it's up to someone's discretion, whether or not, you know, a police officer can let something slide, which I've been in 3 or 4 really, really solid instances where a police officer had my future in his hands. And so, you know, it's it's like, hey, man, please don't.
Appreciate a few of you out there.
Yeah, it's like,
the same.
If they were following the letter of the law, then there's nothing you can get away with.
Yeah.
You know, if
the fact that, like, if it's found out that if he is then being watched and everything, and then he lets us go on something, but then now they come after his family for doing that, then it just creates, like nothing gets away with at that point.
Well, that's the whole argument against the whole body cams too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where if they're like, it's putting undue stress and pressure on the police officer to always make the right call and not use their own judgment. And
yeah, but of course I'm playing blackjack and the fucking dealer has a fucking camera on them at all times and they can't do anything. Why can't a cop have it a little bit?
I mean, I'm for body cams.
I'm for the body cams.
So I'm not saying that I'm not. I mean, here's the deal. Like, yeah, I get it. But at the end of the day, like, 95% of cops are fucking amazing.
I think it helps them. I think it helps their cause, especially when it, like, something comes about. Like, no, here's what happened.
Yeah.
I had 3 seconds. Here's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
And then the bad cops, you know, again, like you're saying, great, 99% of cops are great.
Awesome.
No problem. But that 1%, as any company have a problem, that's what the body cams are for.
And we all have bad days, but, like, here's the deal. You have a gun on your hip. So
it's hard. Yeah.
Need your day to be a little bit better than mine, buddy.
It should be allowed that officers and even like paramedics and stuff, because of how intense their job is, they should have a mental, like we get paid days off or something for work. They should have mental awareness days. Like, if you're having a bad day, we will pay you to take that day off.
Well, what's fucking crazy is
not have a gun on you.
What does a cop make? Like 40, 45 grand a year?
Not enough.
Maybe 50?
Yeah. Definitely not enough.
Not enough.
And then because of the whole thing that's going on with cops, like the people that the good people that would be good cops don't want to do that anymore because they're smart enough to realize, no, that's pressure I don't want on me.
I had the cops call to me one time for the girl I was dating at the time. We were just taking a walk through the neighborhood, and some old person just called the cops on us.
What?
I don't know. Yeah, because we used to live over in Temple Terrace by that golf course.
Yeah.
I fucking lived there. And we would play Frisbee where I was walking all the time. And the cops got called on me, and she was like, hey, I got to report suspicious activity. You know, I got to do my investigation. You know, what's your name? And I was like, I don't have to give it to you. And she was like, yes, you do. And I was like, it's my constitutional right. And she goes, here's the deal. I was like, by the way, I was like, I'm not trying to give you extra grief, but like, I really want to respect my constitutional rights. She goes, and I respect that too. And she recited the statute that if there's a report of suspicious activity on someone, that then they have the investigational right to actually like procure your information to run that investigation, which is different than like if you're recording the cops on the side of the street and they press you. You know, I love watching those TikToks of like, you know, this guy picked the wrong person, citizen, whatever. Because like, I mean, if we all really knew our rights, like really knew our rights. My dad used to listen to this talking head on talk radio, and he had this booklet that he sent out, and you were basically paying the cost. You know, the cost for the booklet and shipping, like whatever. He didn't want to even make money on it. He's like, but you have to have one of these in your glove box for when you get pulled over. Like, so it had the different scenarios and how to navigate them. Yeah. And you literally just pull out the booklet and you like read it for whatever scenario you're in. DUI, speeding ticket, whatever, doesn't matter. Like, you know, I don't know. That it's just like intense. It's a slippery slope when you start giving up your rights. You don't know your rights, and like that is what our country is built on.
I pledge allegiance to the flag. Oh, sorry. This is a DUI, right? All right.
Like, I don't know, man. It's like one of those things you get pulled over. If you're drinking and driving and you refuse to do a breathalyzer field sobriety test, then it's like, it's a misdemeanor of something, right? And unless you like get in an accident or like, unless there's like something intense, like your taillight's out, they pull you over, you've been drinking. If you know you're going to get the DUI, you refuse all of it, you lose your license for 6 months, you get a hardship, you have to go through whatever the fuck, but it's a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
Versus getting the DUI. It's like all day long.
I'll take that.
All day long.
Yeah.
You know, like, fuck you. Like, I work from home, I'll Uber, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, versus going through all the DUI court and all that bullshit that you have to go through.
Yeah.
Or you just not drink and drive.
Or just don't drink and drive.
Actually, I feel like we're pretty good about that.
Nowadays, yeah.
You know, it helps making money.
Yeah. I mean, there's too much to lose now.
Right.
So, yeah. Back in the day, high school, dumb.
Dumb. Real dumb.
But
thank you, baby Jesus.
Thank you. Whoever is up there that made the plants and the weed. Thank you for helping me out.
Thank you for showing me the way.
And keeping that wheel straight.
Yeah, man. That's just like, so I don't know. It coming back to the socialism thing, like when you think about like people wanting more and more government oversight and like, you know, free payments and stuff. And it's just like, I think we were talking about a little bit about this last week, was it not? Where it's just like, at what point do you really want to give up your right for this freedom and like the government? Because the government, show me a thing the government touches that hasn't fucked up.
I almost wanted to be like when they created that thing in Portland or Seattle, when they took over those 2 blocks.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, look, see how you got what you want, but now you want to keep this? Now the government's going to come take that away from you. That's what that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got a feeling of it and then it taken away from you.
Yeah.
Now imagine what you're wanting and then it gets taken away from you.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah, that's exactly how the Indians felt.
Yes.
Which, trippy that we really don't talk about that much.
Well, speaking of Thanksgiving.
How about that? What a segue, huh? How about that? Thank you for turkeys and pumpkin pie.
Turkeys and pumpkin pie and white people for allowing us to have this. I appreciate all that at this point.
Dylan.
Well, isn't that why? Because we took over the land and then we just
wiped them out. People?
We wiped them all out. Now we have turkey. Thank you,
white people. Yeah. That's the best you could come up with in that moment.
This is the awful part about nicotine, folks. Don't do it.
Oh, that's yeah. Nothing to do within that koozie, huh? Yeah, it can't be that.
Oh no, this is high noon. This is good vodka. This is nothing. This is easy. No, I was saying because of what happened with on actually Thanksgiving, of why we're trying to celebrate Thanksgiving.
What was it like? Do we know the story of actual Thanksgiving?
Well, what is preached to everybody is that the Pilgrims worked together with the Native Americans, and they're like, oh, let's have this and let's work together. Whereas it was actually a celebration of like wiping out a ton of Native Americans.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. And then they're like, let's have a feast for our celebration of doing that. And then let's invite a couple Native Americans over since we just killed most of them.
It is hardcore to think about the
That's
pilgrims
what I was
made
referring
it through.
to.
I can't believe that white people kept pressing on. I mean, the amount of white people that were just being fucking manhandled and murdered.
I mean, once you're here, though, back in those days, you're here.
That is true.
There's no
going back.
Stop. Yeah.
It's not like, let me get back on the boat and go home.
It's not like we were welcomed after 1776. They were like...
So what did they do? So, like, you get the Mayflower over here, then what? They just...
They figure it out.
Park it offshore a little bit and then fucking...
No, they go back. They have to go back. Someone's going back with the ship. But
how long does it take? They got to resupply?
They have to resupply, so they have to build everything up. Because they have to get back with a report, right? So they have to build up, get resupply, figure out what's food, what's good, what preserves, what doesn't.
How long does that take? A year?
Probably,
2 years?
Probably. I would probably say 6 months.
Yeah?
A solid 6 months of just like... Because if that's all... What else do you have to do over here? Like, all right, I'm your boss. Go eat that.
Where did they land? Where's Plymouth Rock?
I think it's north.
It's damn sure north, but it's like northeast. Like,
wasn't it Jamestown?
Is that it?
Yeah, I believe so.
I mean, the fuck is there to forage around? What are you getting? How are you preserving?
Well, think of what's there. Right, we got wood.
You need like 3 months of food.
Tons of wood. We got salt. They can figure out from the sea how to probably get the salt from the sea, what they need to do for preservation of like meats and stuff. There's plenty of animals here once they got over here. Hogs.
There was probably a lot of
animals, deer, hogs, stuff like that. Which, if you kind of see this animal, it's probably pretty common to have where you came from. Like, okay, they have deer. We have deer.
Right.
All right. They have hogs. We have a version of this over there. So there's probably things like squirrels. You know, that's probably a version of what they have over there. Yeah,
so I guess what you're saying is like they'll dry age the meat a bit and bring that back, but like...
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, the toughest part was like, how are we going to get our booze? You know, because back then you don't know what water is fresh and what's not. So your water, you're actually drinking beer because that's the cleanest source of water that you can get, right? So they probably had to figure out how to make water, which... If they had stuff to start making wheat, then they could make beer from that.
I suddenly just got really horny for history.
I love history. I love the old stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there was a guy that I heard about on a podcast that was releasing a series of books rewriting history from a perspective as if the victors had not won, because, you know, the victors write the history books, right?
Yeah.
So he's going back, and he made it pretty far back at where the records start to get wonky was after the Alexander's Library. Is that who I'm thinking of?
Yeah, it was Alexander's Library where they
burned that motherfucker to the ground.
Whoever won, they were like, we should burn that down because we're the winners.
Yeah.
Idiots.
I mean, the same thing that Hitler was doing with a bunch of history. He fucked a bunch of history.
Yeah, that was kind of what Genghis Khan was doing. He was like, well... I am now history. Screw your history.
Think about what a power trip that is. Like, you have one lifetime and you're like, you know what? Like, fuck everyone. Quite literally.
Think of the type of people that are out there that already have that mindset, but then every now and then one motherfucker gets in power. And then they're like, yeah, I'm now going to control everything.
Trump.
I don't think that.
That dude was on such a fucking power trip.
But not
the reason he ran for president was just to fuck Obama.
100%.
Like, it was one joke, and he said, you know what, I'm going to do it.
And then he did it. But I'm talking about this guy that, like, okay, it's like if Russia became in power, and let's say Putin was a crazy motherfucker, and he was like, actually, I'm going to bomb every one of you, and now your shit's mine.
It's weird that nuclear weapons brought peace.
I mean, Trump sent out less, like, bombing people than Obama did. If you were, like, going through what we're describing, Obama would have been that guy, Genghis Khan, than more Trump would have been. When you're talking about,
I wonder what played into that. By
pillaging.
The way, I think like speaking louder than the stick.
Yeah,
I mean, it was so tense. Like, the world was very tense when Trump was in power.
100%. Yeah,
but not that much like really happened. You know what I mean? Like for the tension where it's like these two kids are gonna fight in class and like everyone can feel it. But
well, I think it was why it became a lot more intense was because he had such a rallying of people behind him, and it was the closest to like a civilian person.
I say not much happened. I mean, there was the Capitol riot. That was a pretty big deal.
The Capitol riot was a pretty big deal, but it was the closest to like a civilian making it to power, right? It's like the guy in New Jersey that just recently, it was the trucker that recently took over a seat from a Republican trucker, took the seat from a Democrat, right? That's a civilian. Like, how rare is that? Now you just had a high-powered civilian just take over the highest leadership role in the world. You know, it's kind of like when I would say, thinking of maybe the closest would have been Ronald Reagan. Like, he did go through a political path, but he also was an actor, and his political path was pretty quick. Trump went from civilian to highest power in the world.
Yeah, but he already had like a lot of backroom deals going on. You know what I mean? So that, like,
it was also his first time ever running.
Yeah,
and then won it like that way too.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to think like how there's always stuff that we don't know about though, right? Like there was a lot of secret court meetings about like taking away some of his powers as an executive officer. Like, did you know about that?
I mean, they're going on right now with Biden. They've
100%. I mean, we all know Kamala's running that shit.
I definitely knew that about the secret powers going on behind the scenes, but then again, so
that's what I'm wondering is like how much his cabinet was buffering him from.
Like,
you know what I mean? Like playing defense, be like,
he had the epitome of like, make sure you surround yourself with the people that are going to help you. Like he had the epitome of that.
Yeah, I mean, people that were definitely like on his own power trip, but also making sure like he wasn't gonna.
I mean, someone of his cabinet was his own kids.
Yeah,
just to be
his kids are sharp though. That's the thing. His kids are sharp.
They are on top of their shit.
Like that's the thing that's like intense. His kids are the real fucking deal, bro.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, Biden's son. I don't know that we can say the same. I don't know.
No,
you know what I mean.
Speaking of Biden. You hear what's going to happen soon? So he's getting a colonoscopy, and for temporary, Kamala is going to be put in place as the president for temporary while he's under anesthesia.
You think they're going to kill him?
I don't know, but for the first time in history, a woman is being put in power because of something being shoved up a man's ass.
If that's not just a microcosm of the world in a nutshell, huh?
Well, women always get in power off the man's back.
Oh, there it is. Always shoving something up our ass.
Just always shoving it up our ass to get there.
You go, Kamala. Get what's yours, baby.
So that I wonder if there's bets if he's gonna die during that. You don't think so?
No way. No.
I mean, it's a minor procedure. It's not like it's a crazy procedure. But anesthesia, though, at that age, is where it gets iffy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it'll be fine. I mean, something that you just said sparked. Did you see that Democratic convention with all like the point of privilege, point of order?
Point of privilege.
The woman, the lead speaker was like, can I say one word without point of privilege, point of order?
Excuse me, you said I. It's we, comrade.
Comrade. What was with the comrade thing?
Oh, I mean, socialism. That's what they want, especially the younger ones.
Like, for fucking what?
Because it's a free ride. It's a free ride. To them, that's in their head. I talked to, I had an old friend that was like definitely about that, and I'm like, you see how all these cigarettes that you're smoking, and you have like multiple choices. Now you go down to Marlboro.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm okay with that. And I was like, but you don't smoke Marlboro. You smoke this other one. He was like, oh, it's a sacrifice. I'm like, but see all these clothes, and you want to be open, you want to be artsy, you want to be able to show everything that you like to do. And I was like, now you have red and green. That's your colors.
Yeah.
I can make something with that. And I was like, do it. And he made something. I was like, that's shit.
Yeah, dude. Freedom. Just a big bald eagle.
That's shit. And you ain't going to make anything out of that.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, you're losing everything that you...
About your identity.
Your identity that we have built to let you get this, and now you want to take it away from yourself.
Well, that's the thing, people saying like, no, it's okay. Because in your head, you think it's okay. Mm-hmm. But then you really get what you fucking wanted, and you're like, this is not okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like arranged marriages.
It's like, why? Okay, what you want, and then you're supporting the people of Venezuela. They're all trying to get here because they don't have that.
Yeah.
If you actually supported what you think is right, you would actually be against those people trying to come here, and you would be trying to send them back. But instead, you're like, we need to open up the borders and do all that. But why? Mm-hmm. Now you're contradicting yourself.
Yeah,
entirely.
I mean, the border thing is a very interesting thing, and that's why I've always said, like, I never envy a policymaker's role, because what they do is incredibly important. And like, to think about like having to appease an entire population of people is very difficult to actually do, because you're typically only hearing the loudest voices, and you have to actually make choices for the people that you know it's going to impact, that probably aren't voicing their opinion but matter the most.
And the policymakers, you never really hear too much about the policymakers. Like, there's actually people that are making the policies, and then there's like the face of the people that actually put it out there, right? So it's the senators, the House speakers that are bringing it to the floor, and all the policymakers made it on the back end. We never hear about those people. Mm-hmm. So the people, well, it's probably mostly interns back there.
Yeah, I mean, well, the faces are very important, right? Because those are a lot of times are the people that are coming up with the ideas. They're not executing the policy, but they are the one like, hey, this is something that we need to bring in. But like, you think about something like tax code. So I was listening to this thought the other day about, have you seen how crypto is getting in games now? Mm-hmm. Right. So you can like play games and earn real fucking money.
Politicians are starting to buy crypto now.
Yeah. I mean, how can you not?
I need Nancy Pelosi to buy a position in that.
Bitcoin's on the way back up, baby. Look at that rebound. You see that rebound?
That's nice.
So sick.
Buy your crypto.
I'll be honest, I did not like seeing 10,000 go out of my Coinbase account, but I was like, I'm just going to hold. You know,
yeah, you can't. Yeah. You can't. That's money, or you're like, if it goes, it goes. If it goes up, we're even in better days.
When do you pull it out? Never?
Yeah, I'm letting that one ride.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Do you keep putting money in? Like,
I mean, if it was like overnight jumped up and now I have $2 million in my account, that shit's coming out. I don't care.
Is it?
Why is it spiking? With Bitcoin, it does. Now with the other things, you got like Shiba. People have positions in Dogecoin. Like, okay, if that jumps up to like 2 million, that's getting pulled out. That's too risky.
Immediately.
Too risky.
Yeah.
Bitcoin, Ethereum, let it. That's a nice little retirement thing right there.
I saw a graph the other day. There's like, it showed the amount of cryptos, and like right now, I want to say only, but there's only like 8 or 10,000 cryptos. Mm-hmm. Think about that. If you put 1,000 into all of those, you know some are going to be bangers. Mm-hmm. If you got $1 million and you spread that out,
especially Bitcoin's getting closer and closer. Once that's now been dispersed, now everyone's got to start buying something else.
What do you mean been dispersed? You mean just like in circulation?
Yeah.
Well, as far as like the blocks all being mined.
It's getting harder and harder to buy it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, it's just going to stay in circulation, just keep going up in value. I mean, that's just what it does.
We gotta have to have your friend come back on.
Sam,
we gotta have to have him come back on, because there's all these other coins that have come about now. I mean, I'm sure he's like, I'm just Bitcoin, but like, there's no way he's not doing a little bit of investing, probably in something, in some research. It'd be cool to get him back on, see what his take is on things after he's enjoying Brazil a little bit.
Yeah, dude, I want to go back and visit him, dude, for sure. I mean, that's something Abby and I were talking about is where we want our next trip to be, but. Yeah, it's here to stay, and that's the thing.
I mean, Russia's making. Russia actually has invested themselves into creating these huge factories up in the Arctic, in the northern part, because they're leveraging the cold up there to keep all the machines down. They have a massive factory of just Bitcoin mining and Ethereum mining up there, and it's like these countries, and China, of course, is like, we don't do that. 100% they're doing that on the back end. It's probably what they're doing in their little camps, getting workers to do that. But
it's just turning.
All right, turn it, pour some water on it.
I feed them grits and they turn wheels.
Turn it.
It's a very dark thing to joke about, but because it's probably like, some level of
she comes
accuracy.
Back, please buy crypto.
Well, I mean, like, you got to think of it. It's like it's marching towards a new decentralized world order. And at some point the shit's gonna flip.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a world order in the fact that we all would be on that one currency or a couple currencies in the world, and I mean that would be the way to do it.
It's coming. And like that's the part like when I was buying my house where I was like feeling really uneasy is like, I mean, I'm not in the position for that shit to happen. You know what I mean? But
Venezuela is going to be the richest country in the world.
Why?
Because they're the first ones to make they're like everyone in their country is using Bitcoin.
Is it Venezuela?
Yeah.
That adopted it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was
because their currency went to shit.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like only Bitcoin's worth anything. So all the people are now, that's how they're buying things.
Yeah. The president was boasting about buying at the dip. He's like, it went down to 49,000. He's like, we got to steal, baby.
Get it? All funds. We don't need cops. Throw it in.
No, man, but it's trippy to think about. You know, think about if you woke up tomorrow and all of the trust behind the fiat system's just gone.
I wonder if we actually took. We spend more money on like Social Security in this country and income protection in this country than anything else. And it's like, hey, if they told everyone, hey, for 1 year, we're going to take all that we would normally put into it as a country, and we're going to put it into crypto. And we're going to wait for 2 years. And then once at the end of that 2 years, we're going to take what was gained, and then we're going to disperse it back out to everybody.
All people would lose their fucking mind.
100%. And all the young people would be like, please do it. Or what if they did like, all right, we're going to cut it off here. This is the cap right here. Before this, we're going to all that money that is going to a Social Security, we're now going to call it Bitcoin security. And we're going to take that and we're going to put it into this crypto. And then once you do retire, you'll take that crypto and we're going to disperse
I mean, that's what I'm looking at,
out.
dude. Like, imagine, like, you know, my crypto holdings right now, I think is worth like 35,000, you know, and over the course of the next 5-10 years, like I easily see that turning into 150,
mm-hmm.
you know? And so it's like, it's very attractive to continue to put money in it, but you never know. You never really know what's going to happen with it.
They could bottom out, but I mean, that's with any, the mindset is they're like, well, it could bottom out any minute. It was like, that's any stock though, too. Yeah. Any stock could bottom out at any minute. The market, I mean, we've all seen the Great Depression. The stock market has bottomed out before for a while. So it's like it can happen to anybody. Now, it's the people that put all their stuff into Bitcoin and then that's all they're in. They create their own little Great Depression when that bottoms out. You got to be, you can't just have everything into crypto. And there's people that are doing that. They're like, I took my entire life savings, I put it into Doge, now I'm a millionaire. Like, don't listen to those people.
No.
Good, they did that, sure. But like, that's the biggest risk you can take.
The Psychology of Money is a great book. I'm a couple pages away from finishing that one. And have I told you about that book yet? That's a fucking bitchin' ass book to read.
Goes through the entire thing, and they're like, and anyway, here's the lottery numbers. Buy this one.
Can't go wrong. We pick these numbers every time.
If we all pick it, one day we'll all be rich.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be very interesting to see what happens with crypto. And I mean, like what it comes down to is confidence, you know, like the market responding to confidence in the system. And
yeah,
if I'm being honest, I have more confidence in crypto than I do with the American dollar.
And that's what everyone has right now. Everyone has that same mindset right now. And so, especially as inflation is creeping up.
Inflation was like 5.4% this year.
It's so creeping up so much. The Federal Reserve is just trying to look at creating their own coin, which I'm interested to see how that's going to go. But it's interesting that like the governments of the superpowers are getting into crypto. And once you start seeing that, politicians have already started purchasing crypto. So that means now they're invested into making things happen. And the choices that they make are going to involve crypto. And if Nancy Pelosi can just buy a position in that, we'll all be rich.
Fuck you, Nancy.
Fuck you, Nancy.
I'm just kidding. I'm sure you're a great person.
Taking away my guns.
Is she?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, man, we should plan a hunting trip once I get out to Austin, though. Go kill some stuff.
Again, Ted Nugent has the helicopter.
I'm down.
50 cal in the helicopter. Mow down some hogs that are...
I don't want to shoot a 50 cal.
I don't know. It might not be a 50 cal, but they are basically like rats in Texas.
They're rats in Florida.
Rats in Florida.
They are, dude. They are fucking everywhere.
Everywhere. Oh, you got a crop? Screw your crop.
Yeah, fuck you.
Gone.
Yeah.
You can walk down trails down here and going down the Florida Trail. You can see them rutting everywhere. Yeah, they're everywhere, and they are nasty too. You getting
My old boss, I was having dinner with him tonight, and he was talking about he shot a hog on his lease, and this thing was like 230 pounds. And
That's a small one.
No, that's a pretty big one, actually.
That's a small one.
It's a pretty big one.
Dude, we took one out. It was like 300 and something pounds.
Where?
That thing was heavy. In Florida, I was hunting with
230 pounds is not a small hog.
No, it is not a small hog.
230 pounds.
I mean, that is a small hog.
That is not a small hog.
That's like a medium size.
The fuck are you talking about, dude? That's a
100%.
big. We used to raise hogs, and they'd be like 330, 350.
That's a big hog.
Yeah.
230 is like just picking up a human. You try and pick up a
fucking 230 pound hog.
Okay. Okay, I'll do it. You start getting to 300 raise, that's a problem.
You can't pick up no 230 pound hog.
I believe I can.
My old boss is much larger than you, and he said he couldn't.
You should probably pick up some weights. My dad's bigger than me too. He could definitely pick up a 230 pound hog.
I'm not saying you can't pick up 230 pounds. It's the fact that it's a fucking hog.
I'll sling that bitch over my shoulder.
You damn sure won't.
I'll sling him over my shoulder.
You damn sure won't.
I'll haul that bitch out. Now we get to 300 something, like 280 and up. That's a problem. We're gonna have a problem.
I gotta see this shit. I gotta actually see this shit. We gotta make this happen.
Well, think about this. Like, I'm 225.
Yeah.
I can definitely pick up a 230 pound person.
It's just a hog is very awkward to pick up, is what I'm trying to say.
It's got a big belly. I mean, you throw him over your shoulder, or you do it
I
that
want to
way.
see you make that happen.
Let's go get a hog.
Let's go get a hog.
I want to see. Yeah, I'm down for this.
Sure. From rocket stuff to hogs, here you have it, folks.
Hogging man.
Hogging man. All right. Well, I feel good about getting out of here. Hey, next week, look for us on Spotify. You can watch this video live. We're gonna work our best on getting on that, but we're trying to figure that out right now.
Share it. Share it with those you love. Share it with your friends. Share it with your neighbors. Share it with your coworkers. Share it with yourself.
Take a screenshot and throw it on Instagram for us. Tag us in it, and we love y'all.